Long before they ever crossed paths, Mara Jade harbored an unwavering hatred for Luke Skywalker. It wasn't political or personal. It was programming, rooted in the final command of a dying emperor. She had been the Emperor's hand, a secret assassin and enforcer molded by Palpatine himself. His last telepathic cry, delivered through the Force at the moment of his death, had burned itself into her soul. Kill Luke Skywalker. Though the Empire had crumbled and the rebellion claimed victory at Endor, Mara lived on in the shadows, displaced and angry. The war was over, but the ghost of her master remained, and his final order had become her singular mission. Years passed. She found refuge and new purpose among the fringe underworld, rising in the ranks under the infamous smuggler lord Talon Karrde. Though she carved out a different life, her hatred for Skywalker lingered, dormant but alive, like a coiled serpent. Then, fate intervened. The alert came in like any other. A lone X-wing pulled from hyperspace by a gravity well. The pilot's life signs were weak, the ship drifting and dead. But this was no ordinary distress signal. The identification was clear. Luke Skywalker. It felt surreal. Not a battle, not a chase, just there, floating helplessly in space. Mara ordered the retrieval herself. The ship was dragged aboard. Luke was unconscious, barely clinging to life, cut off from the Force by the presence of Ysalamiri. His lightsaber was removed. His wrists bound. He was no longer a Jedi, just a man, stranded and still. Every fiber of Mara's being screamed to end it there, to fulfill her purpose. But Karrde had made his position clear. Skywalker was valuable alive. And something deeper, something Mara didn't want to name, held her back. She told herself it was pragmatism, obedience, but there was more to it. He didn't look like a monster, and that disturbed her. Skywalker was transferred to Mker, a jungle-covered planet where the Ysalamiri thrived. The Force was a void here. For Mara, it was familiar territory. For Luke, it was a cage. He didn't fight, he didn't beg, he remained quiet, aware, and strangely calm. Mara watched him from a distance, waiting for the illusions to drop, waiting to see the cruelty, the arrogance she had long assumed was there, but it never came. Instead, he cooperated, he listened, and slowly he surprised her, not through strength, but through restraint, through patience, through a quiet kind of resolve. Then, everything changed. Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces were closing in. Karrde's neutral stance with the Empire was growing risky. Skywalker's presence became a liability, one the Empire would never ignore. The compound was no longer safe. There was no time for debate. In the chaos of evacuation, Mara made a choice that would define everything to come. She freed him, not because she trusted him, not because she had forgiven him, but because the alternative, handing him to Thrawn, was a step too far. She fled with him into the wilds of Mker, cut off from the Force, hunted, and utterly reliant on one another to survive. The escape was brutal. Dense jungle, hostile terrain, constant threat of capture. With no Force to guide them, they relied on instinct, memory, and each other. Mara hated how competent he was, how calm, how he carried his weight and hers when fatigue slowed her down. She hated that he didn't blame her, didn't lash out, that he never once treated her like an enemy, even though she had every reason to be one. She had been sent to kill him, yet he protected her without question. The deeper they traveled, the more the lines blurred. He was no longer the symbol of her pain. He was just a man trying to survive, and helping her survive, too. Something shifted inside her. Not immediately, not completely, but enough. Enough for her to see the truth. Luke Skywalker wasn't her enemy. Eventually, they emerged from the jungles, exhausted, worn down, but alive. Mara had delivered him from captivity, and in turn, He had saved her more times than she could admit. Their paths diverged briefly. Luke reconnected with the New Republic. Mara returned to Carday's operation. But the damage had been done. Not to him, to her. She no longer heard the Emperor's voice with certainty. That command, kill Luke Skywalker, had lost its edge. What replaced it was silence. And in that silence, Mara heard her own thoughts for the first time in years. Doubt, regret, curiosity. They had survived together, worked together, trusted each other in the wilds of a Force-dead world. But this would not be the last time Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker met. Soon they would stand together, fight the Empire, and eventually love each other. If you liked this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment with suggestions for other characters to explore. We will continue the story of Mara Jade and Luke Skywalker soon. Thank you.